science project.
Yeah, science project, 3 hours? You call that talking about a project.
Yeah,
you probably were talking about a lot of other things, and a lot more was on your mind. You stared at her.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
Did not.
You did. You are such a liar.
I just glanced at her as she passed by.
Yeah, I suppose you're admiring her brand new dress.
It was gray with little purple speckles.
You noticed the speckles on her dress?
Well, at least I didn't notice the speckles on her nose.
You were close enough to see the speckles on her nose!
Look, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to defend myself.
Only a man of a guilty conscience would feel obliged to defend himself.
Spare me.
To think a girl, I've been with Megan Reese all of high school, and I have not paid the slightest attention to her.
Well, that's because you're not a boy.
But she's not even pretty. Julian, she's plain. And all she has to do is walk by you and you eye-bang her.
Oh, that isn't fair.
Sid, it's so true. I have never noticed her. Even when she sang all of those songs in the school musical, or when her dad got her that blue new convertible and she's driving by, look at how great I am when I'm actually ugly, or when she got that new hair job with the streaky highlights with an awful job, by the way. I did not even notice her then, ever.
I thought it was pretty.
So you did notice her. You said you didn't.
You're the one who said that.
No, you just said you didn't notice her.
Look, I didn't notice her today, but I have before, but not today.
So I knew it.
Yeah, if you keep hammering me, I'll admit it. She's pretty. Damn pretty.
And I thought you were different. Think of all the time I have wasted with you.
Doing stupid things like going to the skate park.
You had fun.
Oh, I'm
and you learned how to skate. How great is that?
Skating? It's nothing I really need for my life.
Well, I'm sorry, princess. I'm just stating facts here. I'm sorry for sharing my skating skills with you.
Skating skills? Julian, I've seen better skaters at the skate park every day.
And you know what, Amy? I've seen hotter girls in Megan Reese's car.
I can't believe I've been deceived by you like this.
See? I can't say anything to you. You say these terrible things to me. Anytime I try to say anything to you, you reconceive our whole relationship. How would you like it if I dramatize everything you say? You were staring at Russell Wilson today. You like his buff body better than mine. And he's a stupid quarterback in the NFL, and I'm some skater surfer dude.
Don't touch me.
Stop with the bullshit, Amy. Come on, Amy.
To think all the time I have wasted over you. I have given you the best year of my life. I have given you senior year.
Oh, Amy.
I have sacrificed so much for you. I have gone to the movies lots of times, but I rather would have just stayed home and done something important.
Well, I've sacrificed too. I spent $30 on you last night. We had an exciting evening at the theater and made a fantastic dinner.
And am I worth it?
Sure, Amy, you're worth it. I guess.
So what do you mean you get it? You're not even sure if I'm worth 30 measly dollars.
Well, gee, Amy, I spent 3 hours working at my dad's company to earn it.
And you're not sure.
$30. All for nothing.
What do you mean by that?
Well, gosh, Amy, I spent 3 hours working for my dad's construction company at back-breaking labor. And today, all you do is yell at me.
Yeah,
Well, maybe it's your fault for eyeballing Megan Reed.
I wasn't eyeball. Never mind.
Will you excuse me while I eat my lunch?
Now that you mention it, I'm getting hungry
No,
too.
you stay right there, Julian. I am not done talking to you.
Now listen, Amy, half of that lunch is mine. I don't mind being jilted, but nobody's eating my lunch without a protest.
This lunch came out of my refrigerator.
Well, you know what? I spread the mayonnaise and mustard on each one of those sandwiches, okay? I spent my time and my labor making those. Half of it is mine.
Hot day for not quite June.
Warm day. Warm day.
Yeah.
Not quite as warm as it was this time last year, but warm. You mind if I take off my shoes? You mind if I take off my shoes? Well, hot weather will be coming on soon. I always kind of dread it in a way. Hot weather's hard on an older person. Do you mind if I ask how much you weigh, honey?
110.
That's nice. It's real nice. That's what I weighed when George and I were first married. He carried me over the threshold. She could still do that. I just didn't start watching those extra snacks soon enough. You start watching them now, and well, you still have hope. Of course, warm day in May. It's always nice. Warm weather's always nice for young folks. Nice to sit in the park, holding hands. Too bad you two don't know each other.
Want a sandwich?
Why, thanks, dearie. George and I used to spend many summer days together in the park before we were married. George could say more with his eyes in a minute than most the other young man could say in a whole hour. He'd look at me with that look. I'd answer him back with my eyes.
And before you knew it, we'd had a whole conversation. And nobody else would know we'd said a word.
Nowadays it's different. People have forgotten how to use their eyes. Now that other things have become more important. Too bad about eyes. Of course, people use their eyes for change at the corner grocery store. Beautiful things like sitting for a time and taking a deep breath and appreciating the world around you, absorbing everything. We just don't take the time to do it. Take you, for instance. Take you, for instance.
Yeah.
Sure. Now look at her. Go on. Sure, look at her.
Yeah. Would that be so hard to do?
Oh,
No, not at all.
Well, I just want to find out if a modern young man knows how to really look at a girl. Look at her hungry, like you could just eat her up. At her, not the sandwich. Ugh, it's no use. You see what I mean? My George could look at me the way a modern young man looks at a sandwich.
Maybe the difference is that George really loved you.
He did. Oh, he did. I was quite a girl in my day, honey. Got anything in there besides tuna? Fish always makes me think of George. He was a fisherman.
Did he catch tuna?
Who said he got anything? He just fished. Would you care for one?
Oh, thank you.
Don't mention it. Egg. Oh, that was George's favorite. He always took a lunch with him to the factory.
I thought you said he was a fisherman.
Oh, well, on Saturdays.
Oh.
He took egg sandwiches everywhere with him. Many's the time I've seen him sitting with a fishing pole in his hand, munching an egg sandwich. I wonder if that's why he was so healthy. Except proteins, you know. Should have another one.
But even with all those egg sandwiches, he never got ill.
Only once. Pneumonia.
And who's a lucky man then?
That's what took him.
It's 10 years ago. Person gets over it. But you never forget. George and I had the happiest 24 years anybody ever had. And you know, it's funny. We almost missed getting married and all.
Wait, what do you mean? What happened?
Had a quarrel 2 days before the wedding. Real goddamn serious one. Over a blonde. Not even a real one at that. She later married an undertaker and had 9 children. And to think, George and I almost missed 24 happy years over that blonde.
Well, so what happened? I mean, did he promise never to have anything to do with her again?
No, I apologized. Well, the whole thing was my imagination. Of course he admired her, like a man will admire a pretty woman. Women have to expect that. It's nothing to fly into a tizzy about.
But it seems to me that if a boy really loves you and he swears by it, then he shouldn't even want to look at another woman.
Dearie, a man who didn't notice when a pretty girl came by wouldn't be worth having. Well, he probably wouldn't have the get up to go out and make a living.
Might I have another one of those sandwiches, please?
Here.
Do you have another egg?
Oh, that reminds me of George. You would have liked George.
I love George.
He wasn't handsome, but he was good and intelligent.
Julian here was the smartest boy in our class.
I was the smartest boy in my class.
He was voted most likely to succeed.
At what? Succeed at what?
He didn't say.
Well, you must have something in mind to do.
Well, look at it is. I've got 4 years to decide that in college.
Well, now, don't you be like other young fellas that using college as a reason to stall off on making a decision, and all the time running around with a bunch of girls they're not really interested in anyhow.
Oh, but Julian isn't that kind. Aren't you, Julian?
Julian? Say, you two are acquainted. Oh, and here I was building up to try to introduce you. Of course, I'd have to introduce myself first. I'm Mrs. Wilson.
That's nice. But we are more than just acquainted.
We've already planned a June wedding.
How nice! What day?
June the 21st. It'll be 4 years from next month.
4 years?
I mean, if Julian still wants to.
What do you mean, want to?
Of course he still wants to.
What would make you think I wouldn't want to?
I don't know. I mean, you still have 4 years of college ahead of you.
Only 4 years? Well, what do you know? That's not much time when you think about it. And I'm sure that you two are in a big rush to go make plans. So, don't you think it's time that you should run along? After all, a warm day in May is no time for young people like yourselves to be sitting and talking to a tiresome old woman.
Well, if you're sure you don't mind, but we should probably get going.
Was a pleasure, Mrs. Wilson. A real pleasure.
Oh, there's one sandwich left.
One left? Oh, you share it.
Julian, do you want to share the sandwich?
Absolutely. Here, babe. Let's go, honey. Honey.
Come here. Was she a blonde?
No, she was actually a redhead.
Oh, they're the worst. Frankly speaking, I don't think you have anything to worry about.